Do you have a wide circle of friends? Does it truly bring you happiness? I know someone who always says, "I have so many friends, that's why I'm always happy." They even take pride in mentioning that their friends' children are nurses, doctors, and lawyers. However, over time, we learn that these appearances are fleeting. In our youth, we tend to admire those with a wide circle of friends, believing it reflects great personality or exceptional skills. If we lack friends, we feel as though something is missing, as if we're not enough. In our free time, we used to spend hours with them, even when exhausted or unmotivated, simply out of respect for the relationship. I would also put in the effort to choose gifts for their birthdays, share meals, and confide my deepest thoughts and worries. It's often said that human relationships are the greatest challenge in life. Having numerous friends gives the impression that we've succeeded in this area. We assume these friendships will last forever and often make efforts to maintain them, sometimes even adjusting to meet their needs. In our youth, friends hold a very special and significant place in our lives. However, over time, we drift apart for various reasons. Financial struggles or the arrival of new family responsibilities fill our lives, and friends also become busier, reducing contact. Childhood friendships evolve. In youth, they were deep and close, but as we grow, differences in experiences and values make meetings feel distant and unnatural. Interests and priorities shift, making it harder to share time as we once did. Thus, friendships often fade away slowly until they disappear. Over time, we often see our circle of friends shrink, while time spent with family or alone increases. This is a natural process that comes with aging. However, some people feel a void as a result. Today, many feel that friends have value only during special occasions, rather than as sources of support and care. Sometimes, friends may quietly envy your achievements, and when facing difficulties or illnesses, they may see you as a burden. Difficult experiences reveal a person's true nature, while success shows others who you really are. Friends are just that, friends. It's important to accept that we want to be good to them without having great expectations. I've realized that even those who have been in my life for 30 years weren't willing to support me during my toughest times. Therefore, I've concluded that I don't need friends. Efforts to get closer to them often only lead to deeper wounds. Keeping some distance and freeing the heart helps foster a calmer, more peaceful life. True friendships can be as difficult to find as good parents. Enjoying the peace of solitude is one of the greatest sources of inner peace. In times of stability, many genuine friends appear, but in difficult times, only superficial ones remain. Despite wanting to distance ourselves from certain friendships, shared memories make it hard to forget them. Fortunately, many people overcome these challenges. Some even find greater comfort and happiness in living alone. Over time, I realized that having friends isn't essential. Many experiences can be enjoyed alone, and the energy spent on relationships with others is preserved in solitude. When close, I feel a sense of satisfaction. Relationships maintained out of obligation can cause tension, but naturally letting go of them relieves that stress. It's not that I avoid people, but I simply appreciate the peace of solitude more. As we move through life, many people choose to simplify their relationships. While it may seem that lacking friends could lead to significant difficulties, in reality, it's often the deeper complications that arise from those relationships. Betrayals often come from those closest to us, from those we've trusted the most. At school reunions, conversations tend to revolve around showcasing achievements, possessions, or partners, or even gossiping about others, which can be uncomfortable. Some friendships persist only for social convenience, like attending important events, but these gestures often lack genuine meaning. This doesn't mean we should isolate ourselves or cut ties with our friends as we age in order to find happiness. Today, I'd like to share 3 ways to achieve happiness even without the company of friends. Before we continue, remember to like if you're enjoying the video, and subscribe to the channel to receive the best advice on how to attract abundance and prosperity into your life. Let's move forward. The first key to finding happiness without friends: valuing well-being as fundamental. People with million-dollar fortunes, with accounts that sum into the billions, tend to focus on 3 key aspects. Exercise to take care of their well-being. Reading to expand their knowledge. Investments to manage their money effectively. Among these, exercise is considered essential. You've probably heard the expression, if you lose your health, you lose everything. This is something those facing health challenges deeply understand. Therefore, we must work hard to maintain our health while we still have it. Which physical activities are most suitable as we age? Strength training is fundamental, as it helps preserve physical capacity for daily tasks. However, research shows that only 1 in 3 older adults engages in this type of exercise. For older adults, the goal isn't to build muscle size but to preserve the strength needed for everyday life. One of the most recommended exercises for older people is walking. It's easy, accessible, and promotes muscle strengthening and improved balance, which helps reduce the risk of falls. To make walking more enjoyable, try changing your movement patterns. Walking sideways. Walking on your heels. Walking on tiptoes. Including movements like lifting your arms or legs. You can also enjoy outdoor walks, exploring different trails, listening to music, or even spending time with your pet as you move. These variations not only make walking a more pleasant experience but also strengthen your body and improve balance. Incorporate this habit throughout your day. Take a 10-minute walk right after waking up. Go for a walk after lunch. Do some gentle stretching and a light walk after dinner. This approach will help you stay strong and healthy in old age. However, it's essential to adjust both the intensity and type of exercise to your physical condition, avoiding pushing yourself beyond your limits. Novelist Park Kwan-seo, who began his literary career at 40, offered an inspiring perspective on aging. We shouldn't evaluate our age solely based on the number of years we've lived. Instead, we could multiply that number by 0.7, providing a more accurate estimate of our actual age, both physically and mentally. For example, if someone is 40, their real age would be around 28. For someone who is 60, it would be 42, and for someone 80, it would be 56. Today, people enjoy more active and healthy lives than previous generations, so this approach reflects how we truly feel. With this formula, a 70-year-old would reflect their true well-being and energy. While it's not possible to stop the passage of time, we can slow down our biological clock with dedication and attention to our well-being. Adopting a daily walking habit can revitalize our lives and strengthen our confidence in daily activities. Additionally, older adults should focus on maintaining a balanced diet rich in essential nutrients to support their energy levels and boost their natural defenses. Good sleep is also crucial, as proper rest benefits both the body and mind. By incorporating and sustaining these practices, it's possible to enjoy a full and healthy life in old age. It's important not to fall into the belief that aging necessarily means weakness or illness. Nor should we waste time on relationships or activities that lack purpose. Instead, we can invest that time in caring for our health properly. It's entirely possible to be happy without relying on the company of others. Furthermore, by planning this stage of life, we can transform it into a valuable experience. Age is just a number, and everyone experiences it uniquely based on their personal journey. For older adults, the passage of time doesn't signal the end but an opportunity to face new challenges and learn. Engaging actively in social activities increases the chances of living a fulfilling and healthy old age. Often, older adults encounter disrespectful or discriminatory attitudes. Being the target of negative comments or exclusionary behavior can be hurtful, but it's essential to remember that participating in activities that inspire us can help preserve a youthful spirit and strengthen our health. Identifying what motivates us and living in harmony with it transforms this stage of life into a meaningful opportunity for personal growth and learning. For example, a 75-year-old woman, a beneficiary of a social assistance program, shared how her life took a turn. In her youth, she enjoyed a life full of luxury and ease. She came from a wealthy family and worked as an educator at a prestigious kindergarten. However, as she aged, she felt her life had become empty. One day, someone suggested she use her experience as a teacher to volunteer, reading stories to children at a local kindergarten once a week. This activity not only rekindled her passion but gave her a new purpose. Old age can be perceived as a privilege and a stage full of possibilities if approached with purpose. I reflected on this deeply, but doubts plagued me about whether I could truly achieve it. What if I were mistaken? Fear overwhelmed me. For several days, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Finally, I came to a conclusion: of course I can do it. I'm passionate about children. I made the decision to begin, and since then, my perspective has completely shifted. I dedicate my entire day to practicing reading children's books aloud. I make an effort to convey realism through facial expressions and gestures that reflect the situations described, and I even imitate animals by opening my mouth exaggeratedly. I use a mirror to observe myself as I read stories like The Golden Axe and The Silver Axe aloud. The day I first stepped into a preschool garden, I felt my heart beating intensely. I was more nervous than I had been in decades. It was my first challenge in half a century. Although I was anxious about whether I could live up to expectations, the children, unlike adults, approached without hesitation, smiling and engaging in lively conversations. Their big, curious eyes followed my stories attentively, laughing at the funny moments and showing scared expressions during the more chilling parts. The joy the children brought me is something I would never have experienced if I hadn't decided to accept this challenge. What do you think? Old age can transform if we use the time to open ourselves to new beginnings. This extended stage of life should not be seen as a period of surrender, but as an opportunity for growth. Aging offers ample time to face new challenges. Dare to try something different. Cultural centers in your community offer a variety of activities to explore. Even in retirement homes, there are many options for learning and enjoyment. This is the time to discover and acquire skills or knowledge you couldn't develop during your working years. This way, there will be no room for loneliness. As we age, our social circles tend to shrink, the body begins to show signs of aging, and the difficulties and injuries accumulated over the years can gradually leave us behind. However, in old age, we have the chance to dedicate ourselves fully to ourselves. This is a wonderful opportunity, a true gift to enjoy pursuing what we are passionate about. Old age should be seen as a period of learning and development, a phase to find answers about life. It's like a second chapter in our learning journey. You can start using a smartphone, learning to play musical instruments, sewing, knitting, or any other activity that sparks your interest or curiosity. These activities can benefit both your physical and mental well-being, and they offer opportunities to connect with people who share your interests. Engaging in hobbies with others often brings more fulfillment than superficial conversations with friends who focus solely on themselves. If you prefer more relaxed options, you could choose painting, reading, or joining a book club. The key is to know what you want and make those decisions for yourself. An inspiring example is Anna Moses, known as Grandma Moses, one of the most admired artists in the United States. Born in 1860, she worked as a maid in her youth, married, and had 10 children, 5 of whom survived. Later, due to arthritis, she had to give up embroidery and began painting at the age of 70. Although she had no formal art training, she captured rural life scenes with great sensitivity, becoming an iconic figure in American art. I became the artist of the village. Anna Moses continued to nurture her love for painting until she was 101, leaving behind around 1,600 works before her death. President John F. Kennedy recognized her as one of the most beloved figures in American history. The American artist Anna Moses once said, "Life is something we create ourselves, it always has been and always will be." Old age is a unique stage of life that offers total freedom. Age should not be seen as a limitation but as a period full of possibilities, where experience and wisdom come together perfectly. Older people shouldn't feel they cannot accomplish meaningful actions because of their age, but rather understand that, due to the wisdom they've gained, they have the capacity to do things that others cannot. The lessons time gives us are not easily obtained. Constant effort is needed to gain wisdom, adapt to the world's changes, and maintain a disposition of curiosity. Only then can miracles happen. It's true that as we age, the body may become stiffer, the back more uncomfortable, and initiating new activities may become more difficult. Physical aging can make us feel inclined to give up. However, to fully embrace the wisdom of old age, it's essential to maintain a constant attitude of discovery. The third step to achieving happiness, even without friends, is recognizing your own worth. When asked about their worth, many older people often respond, "I have none. I'm not good at anything." This happens because, throughout their lives, our parents and grandparents have focused their efforts on family and fulfilling social or work roles, leaving little space to care for themselves. They have been immersed in roles as partners, mothers/fathers, or sons/daughters, without taking the time to reflect on what they truly enjoy or dislike. However, we all have talents in which we excel. Discovering and appreciating them is key. Some shine in activities like cleaning, cooking, sewing, gardening, ironing, or writing with elegant handwriting. Others excel in using mobile phones or maintaining good health and fitness. By recognizing these skills, we can reconnect with our self-esteem and feel unique. We should never underestimate our own value. Upon waking in the morning, get up, maintain good hygiene, and look at your reflection in the mirror with a big smile, repeating, "I am the most important person in the world. From today, I will live for myself. I am in perfect health, I feel fulfilled, and my best stage begins now." Starting the day with positive thoughts can help maintain that energy throughout the day. Similarly, you've probably noticed that if you repeatedly say, "I feel sad, I'm tired, I feel anxious," you'll soon start experiencing those feelings. If you receive a call in the morning from someone who complains or criticizes, don't hesitate to end the conversation. Talking to people who radiate positivity fills you with good energy, while interacting with negative people can drain you and leave you in a bad mood. Instead, use that time to focus on your well-being, both inside and out. It's said that when enthusiasm wanes, wrinkles appear on the soul, and when life dims, wrinkles appear on the face. Facial wrinkles are a natural part of aging, but when passion fades, everything becomes tedious, motivation is lost, and life can become monotonous. Therefore, make use of moments of solitude as space for yourself, dedicating time to activities you truly enjoy. It is said that children laugh between 300 to 400 times a day, while adults, on average, only laugh about 15 times. Some might even say, "I don't laugh even once a day." If you feel you aren't laughing enough, try watching funny videos on YouTube or seeking inspiration and comfort in places that promote joy, like this. You could also look for humorous or charming images on your phone or online to enjoy a good laugh. Watch comedy movies or TV shows that generate fun and positivity. Join yoga classes that promote laughter, or participate in laughter therapy sessions to reduce stress and boost your mood. Even enjoying funny stories or comics can be a way to laugh and relax. It's essential to recognize your own value, love yourself, and respect and strengthen your qualities. As we age, solitude becomes a natural part of life. Each individual is unique and holds immense value. Learn to appreciate yourself and be proud of your virtues and abilities. In this way, you will experience a more fulfilling and satisfying life. Today, we want to share 3 ways to find happiness even without constant company. The first is understanding how crucial health is. The second is planning and structuring your time in old age. The third is recognizing and appreciating your own purpose and worth. We invite you to apply these practices consistently. It is said that we do not age due to the passage of time, but because we lose enthusiasm and determination. Life is a constant evolution. Every day, we grow and gain new experiences. Never forget that aging is an ideal stage to focus on yourself. We are here to genuinely support your development. Let's achieve the transformations we desire together. Thank you and see you soon, with more enriching content. Do you think living to be 100 years old is a blessing? Reflect on this question as you hear the story of an elderly woman I'll tell you about. Grandma Smith, who has reached the age of 82, is going through another day filled with sighs. Since her late 60s, she has suffered from severe arthritis, which has made watching television increasingly difficult. Additionally, due to her poor hearing, she has to turn the volume up to the maximum, which has now become part of her routine. By the time she turned 80, her physical weakness became more apparent, and now she doesn't even have the strength to hold the remote control, which only adds to her distress. Finding new hobbies has also become challenging. Due to arthritis, leaving her home has become almost impossible, and although she would love to enjoy a tasty meal, there aren't many places that accept phone orders. Even when, with the help of a social worker, she tries a beef broth, her tongue has lost its agility due to age, so despite adding plenty of salt and pepper, the broth tastes completely bland, like water or salted water. Her memory is fading more and more, and she lacks the energy to move, making it difficult to find her mobile phone. Each day of her life becomes a constant battle against exhaustion and melancholy, so instead of enjoying a serene and fulfilling life in her final years, she feels that every day is a punishment. This is the sad reality of Grandma Smith, who lives in Seoul. How do you imagine your life in old age? Surely, regardless of your position or circumstances, everyone would wish to live an independent life, doing what they please until the end, in a free, healthy, and joyful way. No one, not even Grandma Smith, would want to spend their final years depending on others due to health problems that impose limitations, something that is clear. Unfortunately, the current situation is very different from what many expected. This is because not many people properly prepare to enjoy a full and healthy old age. Typically, when enjoying good health in their 50s or 60s, people tend to live without thinking too much about what lies ahead, and before they realize it, 5 or 10 years have passed. By the time they reach 80, aging appears as a surprise. From the age of 70, the physical changes related to age become more noticeable, and if no measures are taken to address them, both the body and the mind begin to deteriorate rapidly. The reduction in muscle mass, the deterioration of joints, the decline in cognitive ability, and the aging of nerve cells cause the senses to become less precise. Facing the real sensation of both physical and mental loss, old age turns into a nightmare filled with sadness and despair. This harsh reality explains why, for some people, living to be 100 is not a blessing, but a burden. Now, I want to ask you a question. Do you know what the ages of 20 for men and 23 for women represent? According to a report from the Insurance Development Institute, the average life expectancy in South Korea for the year 2024 is 86.3 years for men and 90.7 years for women. However, in addition to the general life expectancy, there is the concept of healthy life, which refers to the age when a person remains physically and mentally well and can lead an independent life. According to the most recent data from 2023, the average healthy life percentage is 65.6% for men and 67.2% for women. This means that, on average, men begin to lose their health at the age of 65, while women do so at 67. By the ages of 86 and 90, respectively, both must rely on others for care until their death. The ages of 20 for men and 23 for women that I mentioned earlier represent the period when health begins to deteriorate and death approaches. Of course, these are statistical data, so not everyone will follow this same path. In fact, there are individuals who, despite having passed through the stage of good health, continue to enjoy an active old age. These people may feel very satisfied to be in better physical condition than the average. However, in most cases, special health care is needed around the age of 60, and even more so in the 70s, due to the onset of chronic diseases. Statistics indicate that, although life expectancy continues to rise, the number of years lived in good health is decreasing. This means that, while people live longer, many face diseases and limitations that degrade their quality of life. A friend who works at a university hospital told me that, although we are entering an era where living to 100 is becoming more possible, he is unsure whether this period will be one of well-being or rather one of anguish, as those who do not take care of their health and experience accelerated aging at the end of their lives might face years of suffering. According to his observation, people in their 60s generally enjoy good health, but by the time they reach 75, they experience a significant loss of physical abilities. Although some people retire at 65, after about 10 years, they begin to feel too tired to do many activities. Most people who are over 75 abandon sports like golf due to lack of vitality. The only form of exercise older people can do is walking. As we age, health begins to decline significantly by the age of 70, and by the time we reach 80, it becomes uncertain whether we will enjoy another year of life. Therefore, reaching 100 is no easy task, and if we live much longer, our existence will be complicated. As a friend of mine mentioned, people who surpass 80 often face both physical and cognitive problems. Being aware of this reality, it may already be too late to do anything about it. Although the average life expectancy is approaching 100 years, we all aspire to live a long life, but above all, a healthy one, with a body and mind in full health, enjoying independence. For this reason, facing old age without preparation is a discouraging prospect. It is crucial to start preparing early, particularly to extend a healthy life and ensure a satisfying retirement. That's why today, I want to share 5 recommendations on how to prepare for aging, preferably in your 50s or 60s, or at least before reaching 70. If we start taking action now, we will certainly be able to enjoy a healthy and fulfilling old age. Before we continue, remember to like this video if you're enjoying it and subscribe to the channel for the best tips on how to attract abundance and prosperity into your life. Let's move on. It's common to hear that as we age, we should keep growing and challenging ourselves. However, this mindset often remains just words, as many people don't take action on it. Do you remember the last time you learned something completely new or tried something you had never done before? In our culture, education and learning are often associated with youth, and many believe that once school is over, learning should stop. This widespread thought leads people to even hesitate in starting simple activities like a hobby or exercise. This happens not only because the new may feel uncomfortable, but also due to the fear of making mistakes or failing. Because of our emotions, we avoid confronting situations that destabilize and confuse us. This happens because we try to escape uncomfortable or difficult moments. As a result, our minds focus mainly on successful and stable experiences, while drifting away from those linked to failure. This causes only the most active areas of our brain to receive stimuli, while others remain inactive, which accelerates brain aging. It's similar to how objects deteriorate when used excessively or left unused altogether. Brain specialists suggest that learning new things and engaging in unfamiliar activities helps prevent dementia in old age. By giving our brain proper stimulation through novel experiences, we strengthen our immune system, which significantly delays the onset of conditions like dementia or depression. Nevertheless, there are still those who are reluctant to step out of their comfort zones or learn something new, thinking it's too late due to their age or believing their mind is rusty. I want to share the story of an older person who deeply motivated me. This story can serve as a great source of inspiration for all of you. It's about a 98-year-old man named Lee Gun-ho, who, despite his advanced age, dedicates 5 hours daily to skiing every winter. This is impressive because at his age, many people would struggle even to walk, yet he enjoys a sport that requires balance and motor skills. What's most amazing is that he started skiing at 60. I had the opportunity to learn to ski when I was about 40, but I felt too old and worried about injuring myself, so I never tried. I thought that balance-demanding sports, like skiing, should be learned when you're young. Now, I feel a bit embarrassed for not having tried it. However, this 98-year-old man not only continues skiing, but he also plans to compete in a senior ski tournament in the US next year. Isn't that inspiring? It doesn't matter if it's not skiing, any activity that you are passionate about, whether it's a hobby, learning a language, or exercising, you should challenge yourself to try it. It doesn't matter if you don't succeed or if you give up halfway through, no one will criticize you. The key is to be willing to try without hesitation. So, I invite you to take on a challenge and try something new, no matter what stage of life you're in. Regarding money management, I'd like to talk about something crucial for our lives. Financial management should be a priority in your 70s and 80s. It's common for people to organize their lives well between their 30s and 60s, but they rarely consider what will happen after they turn 70. In the past, life expectancy was shorter, so we didn't think much about what would happen after we turned 80. However, today, life expectancy has increased, and many people continue to live with energy and well-being after 60. If we don't adequately prepare for this stage of our existence, the first things to be affected will be our health and financial situation. Health is a constant concern throughout life, but money becomes much more essential as we age. When we're young, if we lack money, we can work hard to earn it. However, when we reach old age, if we don't have resources, the consequences can be serious. Even if we want to keep working, our bodies no longer allow it, or there's simply no way to spend it. The children, whom we've dedicated so much effort to raising, are now absorbed in their own commitments. Money doesn't appear magically, unless you get lucky with the lottery, so unless something unexpected happens, it doesn't come without reason. Therefore, as we grow older, it's essential to prepare to cover our own financial needs. Don't delay until tomorrow what you can do today. From the moment you watch this video, make sure to prepare in advance. What you prepare now will generate reliable results and won't fail you when the time for retirement comes. Retirement planning is not just about saving money for daily expenses, but also about preparing in terms of health, recreational activities, and social relationships. Any retirement strategy involves uncertain and inevitable risks, but liquid savings, accumulated consistently and steadily, are what will truly support us. Therefore, as soon as you finish watching this video, create a budget for your retirement expenses based on your current lifestyle and start planning for your future. There are different perspectives on how much money is needed to maintain an adequate standard of living during retirement, with estimates ranging from 1.5 million to 3 million per month for an individual, but these figures are only a general estimate. It is most appropriate for you to determine your own expenses based on your personal situation. It is essential to create a solid financial plan, such as joining the national insurance or investing in pension products or having income-generating properties. However, there is one key thing to remember when making these arrangements: do not be tempted to seek quick profits. Retirement investments, due to their nature, offer little room to recover losses, so it is crucial to avoid risky investments in real estate, stocks, or other unproven areas that may generate losses. It is important to choose safe investment options, with no risk of capital loss, to avoid facing economic difficulties in retirement. The 5 key aspects to consider before reaching 80 are: first, recognize that you cannot stop aging, but you can take care of your health to maintain a youthful appearance and a healthy body. Health is everything, and no one can argue with this truth. Taking care of our health is a responsibility for everyone, especially when preparing for retirement. In the past, the concept of anti-aging was very popular, but today we talk more about gradual aging, that is, preventing premature aging and maintaining a more gradual aging process. Sometimes, we encounter people of the same age who seem much younger or older than they actually are. Premature aging not only affects our appearance but also accelerates the onset of chronic diseases and the loss of physical abilities as we age. While some people in their 70s or 80s maintain the physical and mental energy of younger individuals, others, even in their 50s and 60s, end up in nursing homes due to premature aging. Therefore, preventing aging is essential and should start early. Western eating habits, physical inactivity, stress, lack of rest, and obesity are the main reasons behind accelerated aging. I solved it. I used to walk moderate distances to ensure that I naturally met the minimum daily exercise requirement, and when night fell, I would retire early to rest and be ready for the next day. This lifestyle was something inevitable and typical of that era. Today, however, it has become a conscious and essential practice for our health. Therefore, if you want to establish healthy habits that promote slower aging, do not overly rely on the pleasures and comforts of modern life. As we age, it can become somewhat uncomfortable, but it is essential to maintain a healthy diet and do exercises that benefit our physical well-being, even if that means making an extra effort. It is important to pay more attention to our daily habits. Additionally, to protect our mental health in old age, we must also protect the brain's cognitive function. Therefore, I suggest you follow the advice I gave earlier, learn new things or engage in unfamiliar activities to activate your mind. This kind of stimulation can help slow brain aging and prevent disorders such as Alzheimer's. Before reaching old age, there are 5 aspects that are important to understand and plan for. The fourth one is carefully choosing where you will live in your later years, based on what you love. Many people dream of moving to the countryside and they get older, and you might be one of them. Those who grew up in the countryside and later moved to the city for work often fantasize about returning to rural life once they reach maturity. In fact, many people, after participating in TV programs or becoming well-known figures in their community, have managed to fulfill their dream of moving to the countryside. However, while some adjust perfectly, others, due to lifestyle differences, end up returning to the city. In these cases, they discover that life in a rural area doesn't suit their personality. On the other hand, some elderly people think that living in a big city, close to hospitals and medical services, is a more convenient option. This is also influenced by individual preferences, so what works for some may not work for others. If you want to have a fulfilling old age, it's essential to first determine what type of living environment you would prefer. I know a 60-year-old woman who recently seemed worried when I saw her. When I listened to her, she told me that her parents, both nearing 90 years old, used to live in a house in the countryside. However, after speaking with her siblings, they decided to move them to an apartment near a hospital so that her father, who suffered from a chronic illness, could receive medical attention more easily. A couple of weeks later, when she visited her parents in the new apartment, she noticed that her father's health was deteriorating rapidly, even though his condition had not changed. Her mother, although unsure, suggested that her father's lack of outdoor activity could be affecting his well-being. While they lived in the countryside, he used to do daily tasks like taking care of the garden, which kept him active without needing extra exercise. However, after moving to the apartment, he started avoiding going outside due to the lack of activities and the constant noise from cars. After several weeks indoors, he, who used to be a calm person, became even more withdrawn and started showing signs of depression. The daughter, feeling guilty, is now looking for a new home in the countryside, convinced that rural life would be better for her parents' health. This story shows that the decision of where to live in old age directly impacts our physical and mental health, especially regarding emotional well-being. If you decide to move after retiring or when your children are already independent, it is crucial to choose your home based on criteria different from those you used when working. Instead of being guided by rumors or what others think, it's essential to understand your personality and preferences deeply. Are you more drawn to cities or the countryside? Do you feel more comfortable in an apartment, or do you prefer a house with a garden? Do you enjoy being part of a community, or do you prefer having your own space? The more you think about these aspects, the clearer you'll be about what you truly seek. Don't feel overwhelmed by these thoughts. Take the time to explore your preferences deeply to choose the type of home that best suits you in your later years. This kind of reflection will be key to a fulfilling and successful life in the years to come, and an excellent preparation for your future. The fifth and final suggestion is to change your perspective on aging and see it as a time when you are still young. Have you ever felt melancholic when looking at wrinkles or gray hair in the mirror? In those moments, the passage of time becomes more noticeable, and it can cause sadness. It's common to have pessimistic thoughts about aging, but recent research has revealed that adopting a negative attitude toward aging can adversely affect our physical health. A study conducted by Oregon State University found that people who focus continuously on their aging or consider themselves old tend to suffer greater physical decline. This type of negative thinking can lead to a more passive and dependent attitude, which also negatively impacts health. Many older people express statements like, "I've lived enough," or, "When I get old, I'd prefer to die," but even though these phrases may be said in jest, they can have a harmful effect on both the speaker and the listener. Psychologist Cho Seo-won from Gyeonggi University suggests that we focus on the accomplishments that come with the passage of time, rather than on what we no longer have. Aging doesn't just involve physical changes, it also brings many benefits, such as greater experience and less worry. What's essential is to view old age as a natural stage of life, embrace this process with serenity, and try to maintain a positive attitude. Only in this way can we age healthily and fully enjoy our relationships, values, and experiences in adulthood. Reflect on this, and if you understand its importance, focus on replicating that value. Accept the passage of time, and at the same time, become aware that you are now younger than ever while putting your core principles into practice. Your future will be even brighter than the youthful days filled with light that you've already experienced. Today, I want to share 5 aspects that you should know and prepare in advance for the future. The first is not to doubt or delay personal learning and self-improvement. The second is to ensure that you manage your retirement fund properly, establishing a stable source of income. The third is that, although aging cannot be stopped, we should strive to delay it as much as possible and maintain lasting physical youth. The fourth recommendation is to carefully select the place where you will live during retirement, based on your personal preferences. The fifth, is to adopt a new perspective on aging and consider yourself still young. We are approaching an era in which living to 100 will be common, and this future is not so distant. In 2024, the Korea Insurance Development Institute reported that, for the first time, the average life expectancy in the country exceeded 90 years. Life expectancy continues to increase each year, which will soon bring us an average life expectancy close to 100 years. I ask you the question again, do you really believe that the 100-year life is a blessing? Those who enjoy their life right now may consider that reaching 100 will be equally pleasant and full of happiness. However, those facing physical, mental, or financial difficulties might see a prolonged life to that age as unbearable. Of everything I've shared with you today, topics like health, money, housing, and learning are essential, but the most crucial factor is the attitude we have toward aging. If, starting at 50 or 60 years old, we adopt the idea that it's too late or that we are too old to do something, we won't try anything, and the process of aging, both physically and mentally, will accelerate even more quickly. After all, today is the youngest day you will have in your entire life. Unless we can travel back in time, this is the youngest moment we will experience, so it is crucial to change our mindset. With the belief that today is the best and youngest time to start something, go for it without hesitation and do everything you've always wanted to do. If you are able to fill the time you have left with this attitude, reaching 100 years will become one of the greatest blessings and accomplishments of your bright, full life. This concludes today's video. If you enjoyed what you saw, don't forget to subscribe and like. We appreciate you being with us for so long. We'll see you soon with even more valuable content. I support all our wise followers in living a happy and radiant life. Thank you.